mean for oil producing states like rivers and for everyday Nigerians will ultimately depend on how these revenues are allocated and managed. Joining me on this conversation is the Public Relations Officer of Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, that's PETROAN, who is also a lecturer at the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education here in the city of Port Harcourt, Dr. Joseph Obele. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the conversation.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Rivers people.
All right. Real quickly, let's, start the conversation in simple terms so that at least the average Nigerian can understand what exactly changes with this new directive order on direct remittance of oil revenues to FAAC.
Okay. I want to start by stating here that some of the policies of Mr. President might really look harsh, and but I'm beginning to think that the long-term benefit will really pay Nigerians good for it. For instance, the removal of fuel subsidy was of its kind as it affected the Nigerian inflation, and this very one he has done also. I think over the time Nigerians will see the benefit of it. So it was a bold step taken by Mr. President. This proposal has been on the table since 19 years ago during the time of Obasanjo and the rest. And none of them has ever taken the bold step to knock it out. But just last week, Mr. President knocked it out. And he said, henceforth, all that concerns the federal government that has always been in the custody of the NNPC should be paid directly to the federal account. Let me state this. I have a friend who is a top management staff of NNPC. So I was having a conversation with him 3 years ago. And I asked him, how come your 4 refineries are not running? But yet you guys are still employing for the refineries. Yet you guys are maintaining wages and allowances. See what he told me. He said, without the refineries, NNPC can keep employing new staff for the next 50 years. And and I asked him why. And he told me that a lot of revenues they hold in custody of the federal government, at the end of the month, during reconciliation, they do reduction if they are unable to make revenue as a corporation, which is NNPC. And then now, so what am I trying to say in essence? A good example, if you open a supermarket for your younger sister and say, this is for you, and this is your younger sister open a supermarket for, she has some stuff she should be paying and other stuff. Then you have another to give her in custody of my 1 billion naira, and you keep giving her the 1 billion naira every month. So your younger sister may not really have the time to focus all her energy and resources on managing the supermarket. Hence, there's another, can I call it free revenue or income that comes to her. This was the true scenario of NNPC. NNPC shut down all these SBUs or all their money-making machines because of there is a money called 30% exploration revenue as was stipulated by PIA that comes to them, and another 20. Almost about 7. Some royalties that should go to federal government, all has been going to NNPC. Let it be on record too that this executive order 9 as signed by Mr. President contradicts with some sections of the PIA, and the legal expert have been saying Mr. President here. And this is the only threat it has to foreign investors, because foreign investors trust this legal framework of the oil and gas sector, which took us 21 years to put together, which is called the PIA. So Mr. President undermined the PIA, which is a law. I think it poses a serious threat to foreign investors, and we are beginning to see a signal that for new entrants foreign investors are going to hold back their funds regarding this act of Mr. President. That is the negative implication of that approval. Then what is the positive implication? For NNPC going forward, okay, let me give you a good news. What has happened today? Today in NNPC, this support staff, they used to have about 200. They have released about 160 today. With the memo to say no more free money. We have to minimize costs and maximize profit. We have to reduce every possible cost. So they are reducing some offices in NNPC where you see 7 persons. Such office in share can be just 1 person. So they are overstaffed and they are not productive, and yet they are gathered. There are enough, plenty of them are just clustered in the single office. So the approval of executive order 9, we automatically recalibrate the senses or the thinking faculty of the top management of NNPC towards profit making. Before it was like, either we make profit or we don't make profit.
Revenue is coming, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, we have money of the federal government. So what they do is that we've done deduction. So federal government was like, this reduction of source. Where is it coming from? So that revenue that comes constantly is even bigger than what NNPC should be working on. Is the reason for the dormant state, for the slacking nature of NNPC as a corporation. Hence, they shut down the 3 refineries. As we speak right now, the basic consideration on the table is reviving these 3 refineries because NNPC as a body, you have to work at your salary and use what you're working at to pay for your salary. So their brain since 9 days, this order was approved, has been recalibrated, and they are thinking reduction of cost and maximizing profit. So it's a great advantage. As Nigerians will see the 4 refineries running at optimal capacity the next few days. Reason because if you don't operate, you have no choice than sacking all the staff over there that are just taking tea and cracker. If you need to see the kind of coffee, tea, and cracker biscuits these workers with a dormant refinery are taking every day. So now they will stop taking those crackers and coffee and they'll start sacking them out of this. So it has the advantage, the positive implication of the executive order outweighs the negative implication. I think I give kudos to Mr. President.
Okay, so Dr. Obele, you've said quite a lot, and if there is anything that I would hold on to is the fact that you say this new directive will indeed maximize profit because the NNPC will be looking inwards. If they don't increase profit, if they don't increase productivity, salaries will not be paid and a lot of staff members will be kicked out. But then again, will direct remittance automatically improve transparency, or are there still loopholes that Nigerians should worry about?
The activities or the accounting process of the Nigeria oil and gas sector, we describe it as a manual process. And hence, a lot of us have been calling for metering, and a lot of Nigeria today, as we speak, we are yet to ascertain the total actual volume of crude oil we produce in Nigeria. At times they will tell you 1.9, at times they will say 1.8, at times we are yet to ascertain. At times they will say we lost 1 million to tech, we lost to this, and even the PMS consumption, we are yet to ascertain. So the Nigeria oil and gas transparency or accountability process is like a mirage, like a shadow. It's like a ghost. The more I want to see it, the more you can't see it. So I don't know if it's an orchestrated way to make corruption and illegal activities keep growing in the sector. The more you want to see, it's like you cannot see it. You struggle to want to understand, you can't understand. That is how I'll tell about this. I'm a member, a stakeholder in the sector, and I'll tell you that there is no forensic audit that you can bring for any part of the world that can really bring a sanitation in this Nigerian oil and gas sector. Unless it will take years, it will take years. So this approval is one of such towards the roadmap to bringing sanity in the Nigerian oil and gas sector.
All right, then. We need to go on a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll take it a step higher, and this time we'll be focusing on control. And this is because wherever the money is involved, we intend to follow the money. Now, who gains more control under this order? The federal government, the states, or the oil agencies? And does this reduce room for revenue leakages? It's still Hard Facts on your number one talk station, 92.3 Nigeria Info FM. I am having this conversation with Dr. Joseph Obele, who is the PRO of PETROAN and a lecturer at Ignatius Junior University of Education in Rivers State. Stay tuned to us. The conversation continues after this break.
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay, so moving on, who gains more control under this order? The federal government, the states, the oil agencies, maybe some oil stakeholders, and does this reduce room for revenue leakages?
My biggest concern or my biggest worry about the state of Nigeria at the moment is the recklessness of the current administration. I will tell you this. The removal of fuel subsidy series during the time of Jonathan, when Christopher Kolade was made the head of SureP, the objective then was to reinvest the subsidy removal revenue. But in this period, I will tell you, Nigeria have saved trillion from subsidy removal, yet we are still borrowing. This is number one. This very administration also increased the Nigerian tax beyond the limit Nigerians can bear. But yet you say let it go. Nigerians are paying more for tax, and this to say federal government should be having surplus as revenue. Yet this very administration is yes in borrowing. Number three, this very administration has recently bring this again, and the amount of money that will be in the federation account will be like times 3 of what they were used to have. But yet, this administration is still borrowing. So, for revenue, the skills and strategies to exploit Nigerians in view of making revenue, I think they are so good at that. Then also, they are so good in borrowing. So, it is supposed to be a two scale on the Y axis and on the S axis. Like when the S axis, which is the revenue axis, is going higher, the borrowing axis should be coming low, which is the Y axis. But to this very administration, the S axis, which is revenue, that on same scale of negative positive on the two axes of S and Y plotting graph, the two goes higher as that. No. So long as the S axis, which is revenue, is going higher, then we should see a drop on the borrowing. But in this case, there's serious competition between revenue generation and borrowing. Why? So regarding your question, this will aim more for the federal purse. But yet, this is the same federal purse that is the highest in borrowing since the history of Nigeria. And I say I can't explain.
Okay, so now let's go down to FAAC itself. Should Nigerians expect states to receive more consistent FAAC allocations now? And could this realistically translate to better salaries, infrastructure, or is that being too optimistic?
Since last week, when this threat of Iran and US/Israel started to the degree we are seeing right now, it is a movement for Nigeria revenue. Reason because we have seen a rise to the prices. Increment in the price of crude oil in the international market. This is the positive effect of this war on Nigeria revenue, as the federal government will earn more, which is surplus in crude oil, excess crude. Now, as we do this, it means same money to the purse of same federal government that is borrowing much. But now, what is the negative effect? As the international market, which is the external variables, increases arising from this tension, Iran and Israel, so also Nigeria should hope to pay more. By the next 7-6 days, there will definitely be increase in the price of petroleum product, call it PMS, AGU, and the rest, because the byproduct, the byproduct, which is crude oil, is experiencing increase. Definitely, no, not the product, the primary, the raw, which is crude oil, is experiencing increase. So definitely the byproduct, which is PMS, AGU, and the rest of them, will also experience increase in the next few days. So it's going to be hard time for the citizens of Nigeria, but it's going to be a smiling time for the federal government, as they will be earning more for the arising from the excess crude account.
Interesting. Now, Dr. Joseph, from PETROAN's perspective, does this executive order have any downstream impact on fuel pricing beyond the Iraqi, the U.S. wars and all of that? Does it have an impact on supply stability?
So much, so much, so much.
What
so
about
much.
the retail petroleum sector?
That's what I mean. I say so much. Reason because at the moment, the Nigeria oil and gas sector is experiencing monopoly because only one refinery is the last man standing. The private refinery, 650 barrels capacity at Lagos, is the last man standing. So recall in economics or in marketing, when monopoly is the core, the prices become exploitative and the consumers pay high for value for any commodity. But in this regards, we hope to see the next few weeks that NNPC will so focus in reviving the nation-owned refineries, and when and also the next few months we'll be seeing a private refinery at Akwa Ibom. They are starting before December. A private refinery of 150 barrels per day starting at Bayelsa, and Akwa Ibom is starting, I think, before October. Then they are privatizing. The NNPC have made a decision to release the 4 own government. So the next 6 months or 1 year, when there is competition in the sector, as against what it is right now, contrary to the monopoly status we have right now, I think we see the price of PMS drop to the BRS minimum, likely 500 or 600 naira, causing competition. But as it is right now, there is no competition in the sector it's just one refinery functional. So as we hope to see that this Executive Order 9 will recalibrate, take note of that word, the brain of NNPC top management is beginning to be recalibrated, and that is the objective of the Executive Order 9, for them to think inward, for them to think about the money-making machines that have been dormant all this while.
Dr. Joseph, if properly implemented, I like it when we hear about some of these policies, some of these reforms, directive for implementation and all. But we, if you remember, we've always had a problem with implementation. It's either they're not.
In this regards, implementation will not be an issue. But what should be our concern is the surplus of revenue. What are we going to do with that? To whose pocket it goes? Implementation of the executive order, because Mr. President has directed that all revenue before now going to NNPC, don't pay to NNPC anymore, pay directly to the federal allocation. Now, fine. I don't know who can go contrary to that order. It's not possible. So implementation will not be in crisis. But the issue or the worry issue is the excess revenue. To whose purse is it going? What will they do with it? Nigeria is supposed to have seen aggressive, massive infrastructural development going forward. Are we going to really see that?
Those infrastructural development, I mean, how does even affect the common man, the person selling pepper in Rumokoro market, the vulcanizer down the street, you and I, and of course industry players as well?
What if before now, NNPC usually embark on some projects and they will retire it back, that your money that was with us, we are using to do project ABC. And federal government was unable to monitor it. Now, federal government said, don't do any project again. Don't touch my money again. My money should come straight to my purse. So we should see massive infrastructural development across all the areas in Nigeria. Call it medical sector, call it the educational sector, call it roads, call it whatever. Call it agricultural development. But the question is, are we going to see them use this money that will be coming in surplus for development? That's my worry. That is only my worry.
That's your worry. Okay, now 2 more questions, and then I open the phone lines, read some WhatsApp messages, and we will round off the conversation. Is there a risk, if any, that centralizing remittances further concentrates financial power in Abuja?
The risk is so much, because when you are retiring, okay, let me give you an example. I was teaching in an institution in Rivers State. I won't tell you the name of the school, and the CCE, which is the part-time unit. Before now, the students were paying school fees to the director of CCE, and CCE was paying the part-time lecturers and retiring the surplus to the school account. So to a point, a particular rector came, administrator, and said, no, don't pay school fees direct to the CCE account, pay direct to the central school account. And the students started paying to the central school account. Now, when the CCE director, we want to pay the workers he has been engaging, we want to print a manuscript for booklet for the rest, there's no revenue. When you now apply to the central boss, you'll be hearing excuses and the rest. So when decentralization of power has been recorded, or research have shown that is the best style of leadership anywhere globally. So now try to centralize it. I think we'll definitely see some crisis as we move forward.
Okay, and now let us bring it down home to River State. I mean, as an oil producing region, do you think these executive order benefits states like River State, or it rather strengthens federal control even more?
Okay, I'll take it from two dimensions. Dimension number one, hence the two refineries we have here in River State as a list element are not functional. A lot of use from the community, host communities that should be getting jobs and empowerment and whatever, they're all at home, and that can invariably have some security implications in the host community. So this process of NNPC trying to revive the refinery coming up right now, I think we'll see a lot of engagement and a lot of benefit arising from the Executive Order 9, that the youth will not gain more employment, the PIA provision of the Chapter 3, that will reserve 3% equity trust fund for the host community. It will be activated, and the host community will be smiling. So Rivers people, particularly the host community of oil and producing states, will have enough to benefit. Then as it comes to the state generally, if River State government have been receiving 35 billion every month before now, for instance, 35 billion. Take note, I say for instance, 35 billion every month.
Yeah.
We hope it double to something like 50 billion naira every month, because all that was going to NNPC was so massive, to a point NNPC was borrowing money to federal government. To a point it was as if NNPC was richer than federal government. So federal government will be having surplus in this post, but when this River State government receive this surplus that will be coming, are we going to see development on our roads, in our schools, in our farms, call it agricultural development? Are we really going to see it? So I can't attest for anyone, but all I know for sure, the revenue will double, and there will be surplus and excess of money at the federal post. And when it will be shared among them, invariably the states will have more, then also the local government will have more. But are we going to see them use it for projects? I can't speak for anyone.
All right, then. The phone lines are open. 0817-923-0002. That is 0817-923-0003. We also have WhatsApp and Telegram number, which is 0809-030-6416. Mrs. Worlu, your guest has spoken, and that's okay as regards this discuss. However, and prior, he kept telling us how NNPC turning around maintenance was progressing positively, and how the refinery will roll out products. However, I'm surprised he's talking about all these about NNPC. He spoke with Femnex and authority then. This is from Kano. Dr. Joseph, do you want to react to that?
For sure, the refineries will be functional. Hence, NNPC don't have more free money is coming from the federal government. They will think about reviving their money-making machine. That refinery is a money-making machine, but they dump it because there was excess money of the federal government that was coming to them.
All right. Eddie Green from Port Harcourt says, good evening, presenter and your guest. Please, I want to ask, is NNPC not a private company? Thanks. I mean, I think that's public knowledge that NNPC has been privatized, right?
If I'll tell you, it's not privatization, but it's commercialization. Now, even yes, commercialization. Before, NNPC was seen like a social welfare package of the federal government, were established with the objective not for profiteering, but it was like a social welfare package for the nation. But when the late president signed it as a commercial entity, now focus becomes on making profit making. And they changed focus from the the social welfare national federal cake syndrome as it was before. So it is not a private firm, but it's a commercialized firm. But is it really commercialized? If NNPC is commercialized and the objective is to be making profit, how come Mr. President can sack the MD, can sack the group CEO? And so until federal government hands up, like the Indorama, for instance, it was an SBU of NNPC before now, but it has been privatized. The federal government cannot dictate for them who should be their MD, like they can do with NNPC group management also. So until federal government hands up and give it to a private firm, we cannot call it a full-fledged commercial firm.
All right then. Harvest from Echie, welcome to Hard Facts. Go ahead, Harvest.
Denise, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, Denise. I want to greet your guest. Good afternoon.
Enjoy your music. I'm not hearing the person talking.
Yeah. We want to do something about that. Harvest, go ahead.
NNPC. Can you hear me?
Yes, Harvest, we can hear you.
I say, who is NNPC? That so much money is entering into their hands, and then they are now borrowing money to the federal government. Who is NNPC? That is one question number one that I have.
Okay.
Now, if the federal government is getting a lot of money or surplus money into their accounts, why is it that we are still having epileptic power supply in the country? Why is it that employment in the country is very low? Nobody is being employed. Why is it that to pay indigenous of this country money, where the money is there and a few people is controlling the money? What are they doing with the money?
All right, thank you, Harvest. Dr. Joseph.
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay, so you heard what Harvest said. Or the questions
I wasn't hearing from that angle.
Yeah, I noticed you resorted to your own radio to hear feedback from the listener. Hello, Dr. Joseph.
I think she was like, SS. No, please just recap it in a second, please.
Okay, he was talking about why is it that it was the NNPC that was making remittances to the federal government? Why did they have so much control? I think that was what his question was.
You will not blame NNPC for that because that was a legal framework provision by the PIA that all those money should be remitted through NNPC as the middleman between the oil and gas activities and the federal government. And federal government have said, no, NNPC, please shift away from that place. Whoever is doing this, doing that has been paying through you, please you pay through straight to me. So it wasn't that making like they compel people, pay what should go to federal government to them. No, it was a provision of the PIA. And that's why the legal experts are saying that aspect of the PIA have not been subjected for debate in the National Assembly for them to revisit it. Said the Mr. President overacted and he never had such powers to override the PIA. So I think a legal expert will talk about that. But in my place, I will tell you there were legal provisions, no PIA provisions for the all NNPCs have been receiving. But at the moment, no more. It's straight to the federal post.
All right. Leighton Barry from Abori. Welcome. Leighton Barry, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to the guests. Yeah. I think for me, this directive is a welcome development. But I must say one thing. As far as Nigeria is concerned, there is still need for manipulation because the only thing I expect...
There is still need for manipulation?
Yes, I think. Even if there some of the loopholes will be blocked by this directive, there will still be manipulation. Why do I say so? Because the federal government, I think there is no directive that those who are in charge of directing the funds or the accounts are still the same people who work for NNPC. So as far as those people are still there and there is no change, I think there will still be some manipulation because if you look at the number of the barrels of oil produced in a day, I think it's supposed to be 2 million barrels, and you see that Nigerians, mostly NNPC, they load more than that number in a day. So also saying that there is still the need for manipulation.
I think what you actually mean is there will still be room for manipulation.
Pardon?
I think what you actually are trying to say is there will still be room for manipulation.
Yes.
Okay.
There is a lot of loopholes that will be blocked.
Okay. Dr. Joseph, did you hear the man from Bori?
All I heard was manipulation.
Yeah, there will still be room. There will still be room for manipulation, regardless, because of so many loopholes.
No, there are a lot of leakages in the not just NNPC, the Nigeria oil and gas sector generally. I remember I started by saying it's like a mirage, like a shadow. That the more you want to know, you can't know. The more you want to see, you can't see. The more you want to hear, you can't hear. I think I started by saying that.
Yeah.
So definitely, there are still rooms for manipulation. But as it concerns the approval of the Executive Order 9, I think it will close it a bit. It will reduce the leakages.
Okay. Osara Friday, texting from Akpajo in Eleme. Greetings to Sir Dr. Joseph Obele. My concern is, will this order not affect the developmental strides of the host communities negatively? He is indeed a square peg in a square hole. More grace to his voice and boldness in speaking truth to power. Dr. Joseph, you want to react to that?
I would say the host community will have so much to benefit because this refinery is lying there, 2 years in River State, can engage average 50,000 persons directly and indirectly. And at the moment, how many is it engaging? The answer is 0. So if as a stakeholder, all the conversations on the table at Abuja as of today is how to revive these refineries. So I think it is a good time coming forward for the host community of Port Harcourt Refinery.
Divine from Woji, welcome, Divine. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dennis. For the first time, I want to say bravo to the federal government. Even though I don't like some of the policy, but this one, bravo to them. Dennis,
Divine, your voice is very faint. I don't know if it's something about your mic or your volume.
can you hear me now?
Divine, I can hear you, but your voice is faint. I need you to be audible.
Okay, but can you hear me now? Is it audible now?
Okay, just go ahead. If I can't hear you anymore, I'll let you know.
Okay, I want to say bravo to the federal government for the first time. Now, Dennis, if you have a supermarket where you produce or you have a company where you do production and you supply 1,000 products to a particular organization, and now they are saying, sorry, we don't need your services anymore. Whereby during your production level at that 1,000, you employ 100 staff annually. Suddenly, they have cut down your production from 1,000 to only 100. You think continue to employ 100 workers annually. That is fraud. Total fraud. I have been imagining how do they get all this money? You keep employing. We don't have fear. You don't produce. Yeah, you keep employing. This is the best thing I've ever done. Thank you. You should take it work.
All right. If there is anything, I think Divine agrees with Dr. Joseph. You know the analogy you made about the tea and cracker eating employees, I beg your pardon. Okay, Jojo from Port Harcourt says, good evening, Didi. Now it is obvious that the country is on the path of progress all around with this new development, but corruption will kill it. So let federal government also pass executive order to make corruption a capital offense, just as it is done in China and other Arab countries. Jojo, send that in. I think I have another message here. Several other messages. I'll just do a quick spanning of the messages so that we can at least take two more, a round of the conversation. Good evening, Didi and Dr. in the studio. Kudos to Mr. President for the executive order. More money to the federal government and the states. But why can't the government of River State buy the Port Harcourt refinery to create jobs for the youths? Dr. Joseph, do you want to respond to that?
I think they recorded in the business school that not just government, the government of Nigeria has no business doing business.
Dr. Joseph, are you still there?
No, I'm done. I said the
Okay.
government of Nigeria
But then again,
has no business.
But we'd have some government-private partnerships in time past, haven't we?
Only the one that the modern has been adopted everywhere and it's like a case study is the LNG Bonu, where they have the three LOCs and the federal government firm, which is NNPC. Now, it is successful because it's 3 against 1. Now, let it be that of government. And this is the issue I have with the Chinese firm that NNPC is about releasing the NNPC to. The issue I have is the issue of percentage. And if you release equity of like 90% to this firm and NNPC hold back 10, I used to tell people that 10 of NNPC can be dangerous can be like a canker one also to the functionality of the refinery. So let it be 0 like you have in Dorama. Just release it and walk away from there. When 100% of the shares were with you, total under your control, you couldn't manage it. So now a Chinese firm have come because the argument in Abuja as of today was how many of the NNPC offered to give 60 and hold back for 40, and the people are saying no. Please just give it to us and back out. So that's what it is on the table right now. So to me, I support by NNPC should not hold back any. Should not hold back any.
All right. Good evening, DDW and Dr. Obele. Dr. Obele says he believes competition can drive the price of PMS to the ground to around 500 naira per liter later this year when those refineries start operations. Am I right? Please ask him if this is his prediction is made irrespective of what the global crude oil price may be in future. Text from Oyibo.
The truth of the matter is that we cannot argue it, that aggressive competition drives down price and gives the best value to consumers. A case study of the telecom industry. The airtime, the line I'm using today, SIM card, I bought it 35,000 the third week of NTM launch. But when Global come and Etisalat enter the market, gain entrance to the market, now they were selling 1,000. Today people are buying the same SIM card at 400, 500 and the rest. So we cannot argue it, please, that competition will not drive down the price. It will.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to bring the conversation to an end now. Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph Obele, for your time. And we look forward to more conversations. After all, who knows the next policy or the next directive from the president as it concerns the oil and gas sector here in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. And thank you for being a part of the conversation too. We go on a break. And thereafter, we'll have the news at 5 and we'll come back for another conversation on Hard Facts. My name is Denise Dennis Worlu and this is still Hard Facts on your number one talk station, 92.3 Nigerian for FM. Stay tuned to us.